Hello everybody. It's 3:30 in the afternoon and it's getting dark. What I'm going to actually do, what I'm about to do is make some small bud vases. I just thought for interest though I'd show you a few here that I've got, just some finished examples. We'll just talk about them very yeah, there they are. So these are some different examples of bud vases. Of course you can do them in many different styles. What is a bud vase or a bottle vase? It's a small vase, usually for a couple of flowers, a rose, for a central floral display in the middle of a table, or maybe just on a sideboard. Slightly ornamental, maybe. This is a kind of bud vase. Is not the sort of shape necessarily that you expect, but this is a waisted bud vase. So that will take flowers. You see, they'll be able to spread out like that. This type here, the neck is narrower, so whereas this lends itself a little bit more open. Anyway, that's just that's one here. This is an ash, an iron slip with a wax decoration, and then a clear glaze over the top. And this is another one I did here, round form with a kind of hakame decoration and a little iron oxide decoration as well, banded lines. This is one I did in Spain. Again, it's fairly dry exterior, a hakame, an iron oxide, a little floral whatnot there, and a little bird here. This one's glazed on the inside and it's quite nice. I quite like that one. Made from that very rough clay I used to use in Spain. And last here, this is one of my father's. At least it was made, according to the seal, it was made at Lower Down. I suspect it wasn't thrown by my father, but I'm pretty sure he decorated it. I don't know if you can make out the decoration. The light in here is not that good. Apologies for that. But anyway, actually I won this on eBay. So that was nice to find, wasn't it? Okay, so what I'm actually going to do is going to make some of these more fatter, more rotund ones. So I've got my clay weighed up here. I've got I've got some 8-ounce lumps there. Let's move the camera in here. Aha, but we are going to need a little hot water. I have some hot water here. Don't want it hot, but we don't want it freezing cold either, do we? Just a nice we'll start off with the camera there. Now I don't know if any of you have ever tried to make this form, but some of the closed-in forms, if you've not really developed that far in your throwing to be able to confidently do that, they can present a few challenges, can't they? They're always, you know, no matter how many bud vases or bottle vases I make, it's always a form that I seem to be able to sell. So I'm just lifting up the clay. As you see, I'm constricting it a little bit in the neck, getting down to the bottom there, you see, widening it, pulling it up, you see, and lifting and then coming in. I don't make these to any specific dimensions, so there is a sort of freehand element involved. Freehand, freestyle. Okay, 6 points of contact. Constricting the form. Okay, these have a slightly pointed belly and then tapering upwards. The belly is actually not at the midway point, it's slightly lower. And as I've constricted in the neck, like this, it's made it get thicker, you see. That always happens, doesn't it? When we constrict in, the wall of the pot at that point gets now these want to have a fairly narrow neck, which that adds to the elegance of the form, you see. Right, let's take our throwing stick. What I want to do is I want to go in here underneath, you see, and I am effectively going to wet trim and get in quite well underneath to narrow the foot now. You should find that 8 ounces of clay is good. I'm using on the side of my stick just to get a little bit of that slip off. Nice slow speed, not too fast, not too slow either, mind you. Again, these no trimming, just thumbing off. Right, let's get the leather. Try and leather the rims of your pots, you get them nicer. Alright, let's have a look at him. Sometimes not a bad idea just to get off the wheel and have a sideways look at it. Okay, and I am actually using my mirror as well, but you know what, I've looked at it and I'm not entirely happy, so I'm just making a slight correction there. You see the belly, what I'm going to do, actually what I want to do is just lift the belly a bit, a touch. So by lifting the belly, pushing in there on that slightly pointed belly, and yes, I've made the correction that I wanted to make. So what we'll do is let's bring down the tripod. Excuse the noise, folks, it may make a noise. I want you to see it, you see, from just a slightly lower angle, so you get the okay, let's make another. There's no hard and fast rules about the shape of these, other than that they need to be graceful and elegant, and they need to have nice proportions. So, you see, there are no hard and fast rule that says, well, graceful and elegant and nice proportions means it has to be such and such a shape. It could be a multitude of different shapes, but it needs to embody those qualities, you see. Let's try another. Okay, so the initial centering, yeah, I'm cranking up the wheel a bit. We got the speed a little bit at this point. Sorry, you can't see the lump of clay because it's small, but I'm basically coning it up in a fashion and then centering it down. Now I'm breaking in. Okay, and then I'm taking, let me see if I can get off the wheel and the wheel have enough momentum and I can show you from a different angle. Okay, so I'm moving around here. Now I'm going in like this and I'm taking that clay and just lifting it, you see, against the side of my hand. Like that, you see, all in one move. I'm not using my fingertips at this stage, I'm just using the side of my hand. Side of my hand gives support and keeps the pot on center, while this hand fashions the clay by pushing it against my hand and up, you see, in that movement. Hope you see that. Anyway, it's just one of those little, nobody actually taught me. I think I just taught myself to do that, really. It's just as you do, you learn. So now I'm fashioning the bottom, and I'm getting ready to do a pull up, you see, but as soon as I get to about 3/4 I'm starting to come in. Okay, now I can grab it like that, you see. Now I'm pulling it up, out. So when you push it out and widen it, you're stretching the clay, you see, you're stretching it. But when you come in to narrow it, you're compressing the clay. So now at this point you really want to make sure that you've got from the bulge to the base, you really, what I'm doing now, I'm working on that area particularly. And once I'm happy with that clay distribution in the bottom there, I'm now going to do the top and collar it in, you see. Now this one I've widened more than the other one, so that has left me consequently less clay here at the top. So how am I going to remedy that situation? Well, I can go right the way down to the bottom with 6 points of contact like that, and just narrow it all the way up, coming up like this, slightly constricting it, and that will, yeah, well, I see I've gained a bit of clay higher up. Going down with my finger, pushing against my finger, and then pulling them up, you see, together like that. Finding the end of my finger on the inside, pushing against it, and just taking it up. So 6 points of contact, a little bit more constriction, mustering a bit more clay, you see. Trying to keep the form nice, the belly here. Now you can learn to work with one finger. You can use your pinky finger, your index finger, you know, whatever you need. Constricting it there. Keep this convex here. Don't let that get concave. Alright? So there's many different ways of finishing the top of these. As I say, there are no hard and fast rules. You need to make sure that at the end you want to make sure at the end it's beautiful, don't you? So what is beauty? Well, there's a question. What is beauty? So I'm using my stick. How's the form looking? It's looking beautiful, isn't it? I'm just doing that just to clean the surface a bit, not to take the slip away, but just to make it look more uniform. In I can get right in under, you see, with this stick, take away, wet trim off that bit of clay. That's something you need to learn to do, and have a throwing stick that is able to do that. So this one is a little bit different than the last one. I think I like it a bit better. Sometimes you may find that the rims are going up and down a little bit. Don't worry too much about that unless it's excessive. You see, maybe you want to pull this over a bit more. Like that. All these little changes are very subtle, you see, and they don't, doesn't take much to change the feeling of the pot, the mood of the pot. Okay, I think that'll do. So we're going to cut him off. You see, as I do a few, I will improve and get better. That's how it is, isn't it? Okay, let's pull back this camera. Have a go at doing bottle vases or bud vases. I know they're not a big pot, but there's actually, you know, there's more to them than meets the eye, and to make them nicely. Now those two there, let's just take the camera off the tripod here a sec. Just to show you the differences. Okay, they're two different forms. They're different, aren't they? They're quite a lot different. But they both have qualities, I think, of beauty in them and balance and what else? Beauty, balance, harmony, elegance. What other adjectives can we think of? But there you go. Anyway, have a go. Bottle vases. These ones are 8 ounces, but you can make them in any size. That's the thing. Hey, SimonLeachPottery.com. Pay us a visit and keep practicing. See you soon. Bye bye.